sometimes you get a little emotional when you think about Independence Day and what it means to you and what it means to the world. And I don't know, can you speak on that? It's coming up in a couple days.
Yeah. Yes, like, I'm not turning a blind eye towards the problems that our country has, or the country, or the history of our country. Like founding fathers with slaves. I understand and I see it all of it being imperfect. But even in how imperfect we are, we stopped fascism. We like built the Golden Gate Bridge, built the Empire State's Building. We built the most powerful superpower, economic freedom, a beacon of hope to the rest of the world. Where going to the most desolate places in Africa and digging wells, and like bringing for the world the greatest surge in economic prosperity in the history of mankind. We haven't cured cancer yet, but we pretty much figured out how to cure AIDS. And like that's just in the past 10 years. So I'm blessed and cursed because I have seen such atrocities and I have seen such disgusting, horrible aspects of humankind. But I'm blessed because that gives me a perspective for contrast. And it lets me see, like if you're always sipping on lukewarm coffee, kind of just lukewarm coffee. But then if you have that like perfect hot cup of coffee, like that has the right amount of cream in it, and it hits you the first thing in the morning, and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Or that perfectly chilled champagne, like how about lukewarm champagne? Does that sound good to anybody? No. Right. Or you've been away. Like in my case, I've been like overseas for 6 months, and I've like been smelling my sweaty farting friends as we're like covered in blood and goo. And I come home and I smell my wife for the first time in 6 months. Do you know how good she smells? So America is that to me, or the ideas. It's not just America, because we don't own these ideas. Like the whole point of the Constitution is that they're ideas that can be owned by anybody. If you're an American citizen, you have the right to every single one of them. But that doesn't mean that they're exclusive for us. We want everyone to have the freedom of speech, and the right to not be trampled upon by their governments, and to be able to live their life however they want to. And that's a rare thing. Like it wasn't that long ago where you would live on a royal's land, and that guy would tell you what you were allowed to do. Like you're essentially a slave for him. It wasn't that long ago where we were like walking into villages and grabbing every single male between 8 and 15 and throwing them on a boat and bringing them across the Atlantic to be a slave for the next 5 generations. It wasn't that long ago where we were fighting, ISIS. We were fighting ISIS 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 6 years ago. Like people that would go in and destroy monuments and grab every single little girl and, and do like the most disgusting, horrific things. And like, we fought them. And it's that beautiful contrast of seeing the capacity of the American human ideals realized that, and that's how grateful I am. Not only because I get to do what I love and have what I think is the greatest job in the world, which is to be able to protect people. But I also get to see the fruits of that labor. Like I've been to a country in Africa a few times over and over again in the past 5 years. And 5 years ago, it was this war-torn civil unrest about like the government had been overthrown like 6 times in the past 10 years. And then like every single time I've gone back the past 5 consecutive years, it's like a little bit better, a little bit better. And then I'm like, man, we have like this really cool park, and there's little restaurants and cafes, and I walk in, they're speaking French, and they don't like look at me and like, if this guy's here, does that mean that the bad guys are coming, or that they're bad guys? Like that never even comes into their mind. They're just like living. And like, I did that, I was part of it. I was a little tiny, stupid, scarred, dumb part, but like, that's what it is to me.